Welcome to the Court of Current Obsessions. Today's rabbit hole is how being an adult gamer is a different vibe than youngsters. Basically, my opinion is this. So, I think that online gamer friends tend to develop deeper, more meaningful relationships than your average coworkers who meet up for drinks after work or things of that nature. And my reasoning is this. So when you're online gaming, most of the time, you're not sharing any video, right? You're not having to worry about how you look um, or how they look. You're not being distracted by that. And you're focusing on a task together. But it's not a task for work that you have to do. It's something that you both deeply enjoy, right? So you're sharing this experience with each other. Um, and basically, you're performing team building exercises. You're learning how these people handle pressure, um, how they treat other gamers, right? How they just interact with people. Are they compassionate and helpful? Are they great at critical thinking? Are they a support person? Um, you're just learning things about them that you don't learn just by hanging out at the bar, shooting pool or darts, having a few drinks. And it also lets you be a little bit more vulnerable um, without as much risk, right? Because these people don't know you in real life. They're not going to tell your friends or family whatever it is you guys are talking about. They're not going to judge you for being on the game. They're on the game. Um, and it's something that I've thought for a while. This isn't a new occurrence, but it was definitely, you know, refreshened in my memory as I got back in contact with people I used to game with. Um, Although I gamed in a tabletop RPG with them. But those friendships, they just start sinking right back into the normal flow and dynamic and the genuine care and compassion for one another when you've spent those kind of character building and trust building exercises with each other. Uh, and it's just kind of fascinating to me because people who don't game, whether it's console, PC, tabletop RPGs, people who don't participate in these activities, they oftentimes look down on people who do, or they look down on the games themselves, right? Because for some reason, people have decided that grown-ups shouldn't play games. Where did this come from? Um, you've got to keep play as an important part of your life, or else what else is there? Where's the joy? Where's the excitement? Where's the creativity and sense of adventure and all these things that are fundamental to humans? It's just a really, I don't know, it's just an interesting concept to me that just because you're a certain age, you shouldn't play anymore. You shouldn't be interested in games. Obviously, I don't mean playing with people's feelings or being shady or any of that, but I mean, there's just such a huge world of video games, tabletop RPGs, books, and um, socializing in that way is just a very different experience, and it's very in depth. So that's what my rabbit hole was today. Was um, the deep relationships that adult gamers are able to form with one another based on a mutual hobby and a sense of security that allows them to be a little bit more vulnerable than they would normally allow themselves to be. So you're letting these people know different parts of you that you don't show in your everyday life. And I think that's really important to, I don't know what the right word is exactly, but I think that they're important relationships. I think that they're very healthy. And supportive in most cases. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, guys are still guys, and a lot of them rib each other a lot and trash talk and stuff, but that's not meant in a negative way or they're not being genuinely mean. That's just kind of how guys relate to each other sometimes, I think. But anyway, what are your guys' thoughts? Um, have you experienced some of these like deeper friendships um, that maybe non-gamers can't really understand? And also, why do we think that people do look down on gaming? You know, we see it a lot with husbands and wives, where the husband's a gamer and the wife is always giving him a hard time about it, um, and people talk down to the wife about the husband should spend more time with his family and should get off the game and that's childish. Why are we like that? There's way worse hobbies that people are getting their money and at least they're at home, you know. Um I never understood that. I guess because I get so um sucked into my hobbies and my current obsessions and things of that nature. I never understood why people would want to trash on somebody's hobby or pastime. Um, why is one hobby more adult or masculine or feminine or whatever than another hobby? Why are we stifling each other's creative juices? I mean, okay, gaming isn't super creative in itself, but it does deal with problem solving, critical thinking, um, and a different level of social understanding. Um, I don't know. I just never understood it, I guess. And I think it's kind of sad that people would rather knock other people down for a hobby. It's kind of silly in my opinion.